right. I want to talk a little bit about the coming war. If there is a war that pops off and the target appears to be the Black Americans for any reasons, if the Black Americans, I don't know how big, us as a Black people, how big of a force um, of us Black Americans there are, or, Black people in the U.S. And that part of the military. But I just want to share some things that could be beneficial. I'm not a war expert or nothing, but I just want to kind of sound my alarm real quick and give a warning to all the Black Americans and also to the white Americans who may ally with the Black Americans during this war. I think I can share something that may be critical during a time of war, maybe that could help. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sure, but I think that um, those microphone things, I don't know what they call them, megaphones or microphones or whatever the name of them are, that where people get on like this like school principal thing and they start yelling at the students or whatever. I think if war pops off and sides are forced to choose, like civil war or whatever war, um, the black side, the Black Americans and whoever that's going to fight along with the Black Americans when or if the war pop off. Because I say this because there are pockets of all white armies being created for real. And the white people, the good white people know what's going to happen to them too. They know. That's why most of the time they don't talk about what happens to black, because they know they'll be killed and stuff too. So they're pretty much in the same position as black people at the end of the day, because they'll be killed one by one eventually anyway. So if they're going to ally with the blacks and whoever else that's going to ally with the blacks and fight when the war pop off, uh, I believe that one of the soldiers on the battlefield or whatever should have that microphone, and his assignment not only to not get shot and and also shoot as well if he's out there, but there need to be someone constantly reminding the enemy allies, whoever the enemy might have for their allies, that the black Americans are not their enemy. They need to be screaming that we're not your enemy. You know what I'm saying? Stand down, don't fight with them. They need to constantly remind the enemy's allies of who the real enemies are. If this pops off, they need to be constant 24 on the battlefield, yelling. If he get tired, pass the microphone to somebody else and let them constantly scream that to the allies of the enemies, to remind them that we don't want war. We're simply fighting for our life. This is not us. This is not our doing. Don't fight with them. Don't help them. Stand down and constantly try to talk some sense into them, so that maybe they wouldn't help the enemy, whoever the enemy may be, towards us, our kind, our black Americans, or whoever, because I think if we unite under this one banner, it's going to be a disaster, because that's the ultimate cover up. And I think when they start the war, they're not going to use regular soldiers, because they know that'll be too obvious. They might use the police to do it. Because when the police come out and kill one individual black, nobody say shit. They stand around. They don't even do nothing. They stand around. They take pictures. And the rest of the police backup comes, and the rest of the crowd, you hear crickets. They terrified. They just see some guy get gunned down. So I think they'll use the police force, whoever that force may be, to move in to kill as many as they can first, wherever they find them at, for any reason at all. And that's part of the reason why they're probably changing all these laws and giving, I guess, police more authority, more power, because when it pop off, the police can target anybody. Military soldiers coming to and from their base and kill them, kill them at their house, kill them everywhere. So I think the police might be the ones that they chose to help, and if it's a movement to exterminate the blacks. So when or if the blacks have a force to combat that and fight that, they need to have that megaphone to constantly remind the people of who the real enemy is, and our history, and that how we never targeted or as a force. You know what I'm saying? You got to constantly be screaming that and reminding that on the battlefield. Also, it may be important now to start building strongholds if we don't have any. You know, all of the good black people that's going to fight for the race, for the survival of the black man and his allies. They need to start building strongholds now, because I'm telling you, America is getting white, and everybody that's white ain't right. You know what I'm saying? That's for real. They everywhere's pockets of them, and they could be armies, racist armies that's gonna come and do a lot of fucking damage, and they get free tickets to probably be police, anything, so they'll move out probably in a disguise of police and start gunning people down. You feel me? I saw a video where one of these dudes shared how the FBI set up a fake sting operation where they told these people they had tickets to a Washington Redskins game, and they all arrived, a lot of them, and then the police bust in the door and arrested everybody. So they use those same kind of tactics, but just trickery, right? So if they wanted to go to war with a race and the people who like that race, they would put on a disguise to do it. So I think that police is the perfect disguise for them to dress up and get free jobs and come out in wherever your hood at and start murdering one by one, two by two, three by three, however they can, as long as they get them out. And that's how they can start off the war sneakily, and it'll go under the radar for days, months, years, hours. So that's something to keep an eye on. And the blacks, if they can build a stronghold, if they have allies that's over the housing market, hell, let people, other blacks who's going to help and try to do something, come join a whole community of other blacks and build a safe stronghold point for when the war, or if the war reaches that strong whole point, they have a good fighting chance to fight for their lives. So if they're like blacks scattered all out, living in maybe racist white community or somewhere out in the boondocks, and it's just one black surrounded in the sea of whites, then they can reach out to the brother or sister, whoever they are, and pull them in and tell them, hey, come here, we got free housing for you. Give them free housing or housing at the cheapest prices they can find to build stronghold cities for all blacks and their allies that's going to help fight for their lives, for their survival when the war pop off, because it will. So they need to be extremely cheap housing so they can move as much black people as they can into the community and let them see the seriousness of what's going on, and the notation that now is not the time. Our lives are in very serious danger, very serious. If Ukrainians from Ukraine can sense it and they trying to help us and they trying to warn us of what's coming, we need to get fucking ready. I'm telling you, we need to get ready. All these dumbass niggas riding around, hopping out on other niggas, killing other niggas. All right. And it's going to be the same thing. Once they get finished killing all the niggas, them niggas who've been killing for whoever they've been killing for, excuse my language, they going to die. Just like the white people going to die when they all said and done, because you're a good white person. So they only want the cream of the crop, the rugged motherfuckers. You feel me? They done gave the warnings. So we need to start building stronghold cities now. Make the housing dirt cheap as possible, because they already creating pockets of white towns all over America. They running black people out, man. They're not playing. And those white people are most likely be all racist as fuck. So to the white people who ain't racist, they're going to have to ally with the black people who will welcome them in and allow them to help fight and build a stronghold city. It has to be blacks and the whites that's going to fight with them, and the Mexicans, Hispanics, or whoever that's going to help the blacks fight. Chinese, whoever the fuck they are. You're going to need them. I'm telling you, you're going to need them. You're going to need as much help as you can get. So you need to start focus on building these stronghold cities, get those megaphones, and be ready to announce when the war pop off. Hey, man, we don't want war. We just fight for our life. Keep reminding them as you shooting, as the bullets flying. Stand down. Don't fight with them. Leave them. We are not your real enemies. They your real enemies. You helping the enemy. You got to keep talking on that megaphone as the bullets flying. You feel me? And then to keep talking some sense to them. That megaphone is going to be just as important as that gun on that battlefield. We need to get a lot of them, and we need to be ready to announce, make their, as the bullets flying. If they popping like, hey man, we don't want this. This is them, not us. You got to be saying it, talking them down, talking their allies down out of it. And you don't really want to be too much talking to the white people when the bullets fly, because you already know they fucked up in the head. They demonically possessed, the ones that's coming to kill you. So you don't want to be talking to them. You want to be talking to their allies, the ones who may have some common sense, because you don't want to trust an evil white person that's already had made their mind up to kill you, even if you talk them down not to kill you, because they're gonna kill you eventually. So it's best to not ever trust them, ever. No, ever. That's it. But so you want to try to talk and let people know this is not our war. We don't want this beef. You know what I'm saying? This beef is created on us, not by us. And so get your allies ready. Start building strongholds. Make the housing cheaper than a motherfucker to invite as many blacks as they can. Have these little meetings. Let them know what's really going on. What's gonna go down. What's about to happen. What we're not about to like soon, but what's gonna eventually happen, and what they can do to combat that, and build stronghold cities. Because the races that's in power, they're gonna push all the blacks out first, because they know a good white person gonna ally with a dirty white person all day long anyway, because the skin color is black. So they're gonna think they safe, but they're gonna die too. And I think they know that. So if they know that, they need to help the blacks build stronghold cities, lower the fucking housing prices on the cities that we need to build stronghold points in for blacks and whoever gonna fight with them when the war reach that part of the region. Because it's reaching, they already wiping black people out right now as we speak, using the police and whoever else. You can be sitting on your porch with your gun that might be registered. Somebody can call the police. Oh yeah, he on the porch with a gun. Police pull up, boom, 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 kill you right then and there. You like, hey man, bam, 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 killing you. On your property with your weapon. Meanwhile, they may have some white people somewhere else on their porch sipping beer, getting drunk, holding weapons, screaming what they'll do, and still alive. You know what I'm saying? But you on the porch ain't harming nobody, ain't drunk, you sober, you just got your protection because shit getting crazy, and fucking police pull up and gun you down, and blood on your porch in front of your wife, your kids. They don't give a fuck, nigga. Your daughter, your son, everybody. Knock your fucking brains out your head. It's really serious. We need to take it really serious, if we're going to be here. And whatever we don't have as a people, we need to help each other get. I'm telling you, the extermination is here, and a war so big is coming. It's coming. That man said the calm before the storm, his first term, way before he even got out, man. This is his second term. And you already seen how many killings that has been going down in America. If you count in death and killings in 2025, already well over 600 people dead, most of them blacks. Over 600 people throughout the whole U.S. out of there already in the beginning of 2025. In the first year. Imagine in 4 years. It's going to get very, very bad. Very bad, man. They already got strong points of racism in the people that's going to exterminate the blacks in every city. So there need to be strongholds set up for the blacks to protect them for their lives in every city. And the city with the least amount of people that may be outnumbered, they evacuate that whole entire fucking city and come join another city. And where they can help be more if it pops off. So if there's somebody that's somewhere else far away from a strong point city, sell their home, do what the fuck they got to do, and relocate to a city. And that city need to do everything possible in their power to lower the prices to get as many black people in one city away from where the racism may be at. Do what they got to do to get there. Even if we got to open up, shelters or whatever we got to do, but just they got to know the cause. You get what I'm saying? They have to sell their homes, everything, and relocate to a black community where they will be safe at, where we can make sure it's going to stay safe and do our best to stay safe with the blacks and the white allies and Hispanic, whoever allies is going to fight with the blacks that need to build a stronghold city to where we invite as much of them as they can, as much legal, whoever they are, blacks, Hispanics, whites, and they need to stronghold that city. That housing need to be knocked the fuck down. I mean, all the way as low as they can go to get people to move there with good expectations, though. Not coming there looking to kill, murder, start a riot, whatever. They need to be good to protect the community, to make sure it's strive. But if you have high housing market, it's gonna crash the economy. It's gonna fuck things up because the market is so high, can't nobody afford to live there. So the businesses will run out. So if you got higher housing costs, higher markets, your city is going to be fucked up eventually because nobody could afford to even live in the fucking city to take a walk to your goddamn candy store to buy the candy, or to take a walk to the liquor store to get some liquor, or to even take a walk to the fucking fast food restaurant store to even buy some food because your fucking housing prices are too high. So they need to get rid of all that shit, knock it down really dirt cheap. Fuck that. You're going to make your money in the long run. Stop being money hungry and see the cause. Fuck the money. This is about the life of the human. And if you want to be about the money, you will be murdered anyway because you ain't even got enough people in your fucking city to help defend it in the first place. So when the people roll up, that's their shit. You get murdered, they take your shit, they take your house, they take your land, they take every fucking thing. Your kids, everything or whatever, everybody dead. That city is not yours no more. It belongs to them. So they're gonna do what the fuck they want to do with it, how they want. But if you want your city to live, everybody got to call a meeting. It's got to be urgent. They got to really talk about how serious this is. Nobody's safe, and you got to knock them fucking housing prices down all the way. Open the fucking housing market up. Do what you gotta do. Keep flooding motherfuckers on housing, getting them places. Make sure they get places, and make sure the rent is knocked down super cheap, so that every store in the community can thrive. So that the community can thrive. Period. Because if you keep raising the prices up, you ain't gonna have enough people to defend the war. Can't you see what this is? This is war. They're using everything at their tools before the bullets even fly. And if your dumbasses keep raising up the housing market, and then the housing shit's moving further and further away. One year the housing takes 4 months for you to get. The next year it takes 12 months for you to get on. You see? So now you got extremely high housing market and then long wait periods. How the fuck you gonna defend that city when a real force come rolling up? You ain't. That ain't your shit no more. You're gonna die and they gonna get your city. All of us. So you have to lower the housing market down. Fuck they housing market. Don't give a fuck them. If they want to have their shit all extremely high, then you have your shit extremely low as it can get. Open your housing market up, public section. I don't give a fuck. Whatever that's within your right, open it up and get as many people back in that city as a strong point. Have your meetings, let them know what's going to go down eventually and what they need to do to protect it if they want to keep it and if they want to stay in power. Otherwise, you will be murdered and somebody else will be sitting in your office ruling your goddamn city and taking everything you work for. I don't care who you are. You will be murdered too as well. You know, the decoy is black. That's the distraction. Yeah, it is black. They're not lying because the black's going to die first. But that don't mean your ass safe. You going to be next. And they tell you who's next. Why you think that saying has started in America? Who's next? Now that shit went global. Who's next? Pay the fuck attention. And your housing market is rising just like everybody else because you so busy concentrating on a nigga, you dumb fuck. Anyway, catch y'all in the next video. Y'all stay safe and peace out. Damn, I can't even end it right now because what the fuck? Get the fuck off the stream. All right.